Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking that trip again on the road, but this time the music is on the computer and it's not in the background playing and popping in the speakers so that you can't hear me. There are a couple of things we're going to talk about. Now, originally I started this video, but George Michael was a little too loud in my ears because I have my earplugs on, and the idea is George can't be that loud. You know, now look, Careless Whispers, one of my favorite songs and my all-time favorite by him when he was with Wham. Okay, that's right, the group was called Wham, for those of y'all who didn't know, and before he went solo and did the George Michael thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the idea here is, earlier today before I took my shower, because I just got out. You're not supposed to take a shower and go outside. I do whatever I want. Anyway, just before I was taking my shower, I was actually sitting up thinking of a scenario, because oftentimes the police will pull someone over, and the first thing they do is they ask them for a driver's license. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't carry a driver's license. I just handle my ID. But oftentimes they ask you, don't you have a driver's license? Don't you have a state-issued ID? And my response, your response, everybody's response should have been always, but we have not been responding this way, is why would I have a state-issued ID? That would be the property of the state. Then you could charge me for possession of government property. Okay, the unlawful possession of government property. No, we can't have that, so no, I can't have state-issued ID unless I am contracted with the state, and I don't have a contract with the state. I am at an intersection, and it appears at this intersection that there has been an accident, a very bad accident. And that particular intersection is notorious for that. And I have a truck and a car that both pulled over to the side, and they are both trying to stop me from driving because they wanted to be looky-loos at the accident. They wanted to see all of the damage that was done. They wanted to see who was injured. The police were there, the fire department were there, the ambulance was there. There's no reason for me to look to see if everybody's okay. They have enough people there to make sure everybody's okay. People who are trained for that. I don't need to see what's going on. I don't need to see the damage done. I don't like seeing that junk in the first place. But everybody else had to slow down and look and see what was going on. Not me. I don't need to see all of that junk. I don't need to be the cat who is too curious to live. Okay? I'd rather be the cat who decides he wants to live and doesn't need to live up to his so-called image. Alright, let's get back to the scenario thing. What I do, and I do this often, there's an issue that goes on that most people are not aware of. They should be. All of you should be doing this every day in your life. You've heard of people saying you need to think before you speak. Well, this is something I practice. That's why I tell people they can't come back to me and say I said something and it not be the way I would normally say it, because when I speak, I am very specific as to what I speak, how I speak, when I speak, why I speak. Why is that? Because too many people will take and do like the courts, will choose to construe your words. So, and the only reason I'm doing this video is because I'm headed to a Wi-Fi hotspot where I can upload it. But other than that, this video wouldn't be done because I'm not going to be doing videos like that no more. And I don't go to the Wi-Fi hotspot that often, but because I got a new computer, I need to update it and upload files. And so the Wi-Fi hotspot has pretty good speed, better than the speed I have at my home. So I'm going there to take care of that. That, so that you know. But let's get back to the conversation. police officer asking somebody for identification, or a state government agency asking somebody for identification and saying they'll only accept state-issued ID, you all need to start challenging that. That state-issued ID is property of the state. They let you know in the application that that is their property. It doesn't belong to you. Okay, so if it doesn't belong to you, what are you doing with it in the first place? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so that you know, because many of you are not aware, you must be licensed with the state in order for them to have jurisdiction over you. So when you walk into their court buildings with a license, okay, you are giving them prima facie evidence of your contract with the state. When you hand a police officer a driver's license, you're giving him prima facie evidence of your contract with the state. That's where they're getting their jurisdiction. That's why they will call people, what's the word? Oh, that was another police car going to that scene. And that's another ambulance going to that scene that just passed me up. But like I said, plenty of help at that particular location. There is no need for me to try to help them out by looking to see what's going on. Again, when you hand them that information, you are giving evidence against yourself. Prima facie evidence as to their claim. You're being an agent, an officer. Okay? You don't want to do that. So, for those of you, and there are a lot of you out there who are driving around here without licenses and getting yourself in trouble because you're not giving them the proper rebuttal, the proper adverment. You know, Creditors in Commerce, they did a lot of videos, and let me explain something to you. The information given out by Creditors in Commerce was not wrong. Okay? You guys, there are a lot of people trying to contact SACOM and ask SACOM about secured party creditor status. Ladies and gentlemen, secured party creditor, that's the language that comes from the actual, what's the name of that thing? Oh, even the fire chief is going to the accident. Okay, well anyway, that comes from the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, when you hear about secured party creditor. Okay, I got to turn the air conditioning up because where I live, it ain't hot. But when I come on down here to the wonderful little hot spot, it's hot. That's why it's called a hot spot. Oh my God! Anyway, just kidding, y'all. The situation, and I'm going around turns and bends and winding and twisting and so on and so forth. So I got to be mindful of the road in front of me, or I'll be like one of them cars back there that was not doing so well because they decided they wanted to remodel their automobile without going to an actual body and repair shop. Y'all need to pay attention. You cannot make your own body repair shop at the middle of an intersection. Okay, so stop doing that, people. And those of you riding these motorcycles trying to make your motorcycle custom by running off the side of the road, y'all can't be doing stuff like that. There are legal ways for doing it. That's that little cheap way. You don't get to do that. So stop it. You cause a lot of problems when you do that. Alright, getting back to this conversation. Once you all understand that they must have a subscription from you. That's why it's a subscription. That's why you pay for a couple of months. Okay? They must have a subscription from you to license, to do whatever it is that you are allowing them to do, i.e. have jurisdiction over you. Without that subscription, they have no jurisdiction. Pay attention. Without the subscription, they have no jurisdiction. Alright? You can literally say that. Now, many of you have a license on file with the state. You need to surrender your license, get a state-issued ID. The only problem you're going to have is when it comes to registering your automobile. So let me tell you how you register your automobile, people, and you don't have to worry about them pulling you over every 5 minutes. You will have to pay for your parking tickets when you do this, but you register your automobile in your corporation. And I do mean you literally go set up your corporation to where you have your articles of incorporation. It is real simple. You can set it up through that wonderful company, LegalZoom, or you can do it yourself if you know what you're doing. And you register your car under your corporation. Okay, you don't need a license to register your car under the corporation. And now you operate that way. It is not illegal, but if you set up the corporation, you will have to pay the taxes. That's why you want to set up your nonprofit corporation in a state that will let you set up such a corporation and won't charge you a ton of taxes. There are several states where this is recognizable. Wyoming, Las Vegas, these are very tax-friendly, corporation-friendly states. New Mexico, okay. This is how you do that. You set up your corporation in that state, and then you register it in your state under that corporation. If they need a local address, give them your address. And then give them the original address for the corporation, okay, for service of process. You have to make sure you document that your personal address is not to be used for service of process. You have to literally tell them that. You can even write that on the application, not to be used for service of process. They want service of process for your corporation, you give them the Secretary of State address where the corporation is registered. I know, he's a genius. Okay? That's how you handle that stupidity. But remember, the ID, the license, well, the ID, not the ID. The ID is not a license or a subscription granting jurisdiction. You can carry the state-issued ID. It is the driver's license that gets rid of all of your so-called inalienable rights. You mean my rights are in trouble? They're sick? That's right, they're ailing. See, inalien and alien, they're ailing. And because they're ill, you need to make them better. And many of y'all don't know how to do that. Y'all sitting up here bringing all these foolish arguments. I ain't this, I ain't that, you don't have nothing, you don't got jurisdiction this, you can't do that, you can't be telling them what they can't do. You just simply let them know that I'm sorry, but I am not one of those who is this and who is that. By the way, I told y'all I got a letter from the attorney from the United States Department of the Treasury in the last video. We got that letter. And he's sending me one of those general letters talking about someone's attempting to defraud the United States. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how do you handle an idiot like that? Well, I file a complaint against him. See, when they accuse you of trying to defraud the United States, they're accusing you of attempted treason. That's an offense punishable by death. Okay? He's saying that you're trying to harm the United States. He's accusing you, or whoever it is accusing you of being an enemy of the United States. Okay? Which is where they get the presumption that they don't have to cooperate with you. They don't have to do what they're required to do. That's where you get to hammer them in the head. Okay? That's your job. You hit them till you see the white meat. Told you, my friend Ellen used to say that, and when she would say that, I'm like, oh God, Ellen, that's nasty. Well, let me make sure y'all understand. Y'all gonna hit them till y'all meet Ellen, and y'all meet the white meat. That's what you're going to do, because that's necessary. All right, let's get back to the reality of this conversation. These type of conversations will happen every once in a while, because this is the information I don't normally talk about. But this is the information that many of you need to hear. And so I'm providing this information so that you can be aware of it. So that you can see this is another option. You're going to say, but forming that corporation makes me a... Not if you do it as a 98 series and you follow all of the procedures, the 8832. See, this is... Pay attention, SAT-PAC members. This is one of the reasons you receive a free 98 series number, so that you can utilize your corporation the way it was originally supposed to be utilized. Okay? We have our people, they're all wondering, well, what's the next step? That everything is on us. We are processing all of the paperwork now. We're processing the process now. We're taking care of setting up everything. There are a couple other agencies you have to be registered with. We are taking care of that. Are we going to tell you who those agencies are? No, because you don't need to know. It's not paramount. This is all for your security, to protect you. See, the problem is we would be telling you guys everything, but we're having people out there, ladies and gentlemen, we got people out there that's really interfering with the process. Okay? Let me explain to you what's going on. They're trying to duplicate what we're doing. And by doing so, they've slowed up the process for everybody, because they're sending in a bunch of junk because they don't know what they're doing. See, you all don't get a copy of everything that's being sent. You only get a copy of the main papers. Why? Because you don't need a copy of everything that's being sent. That's not your... So, what's happened is that slowed the process down tremendously. So, what happened? We had to come in and we had to undo that damage. Okay? And that's what we are doing now actively, is undoing the damage caused by those individuals who are trying to piggyback off of SATCOM and its process. Okay? So this is me just giving you guys an update as to that. Nothing has stopped. We are still working hard to make sure that everything is done the way it should be done. That the process completes the way it should complete. Now I'm at my destination. See, that didn't take long. Let me see, how long did that take? Oh, that was only 18 minutes, y'all. So that's not that long of a trip, but that's 18 minutes of straight driving. And up and down and in and around and twisting and turning. Just want to make sure that you guys understand that nobody else is doing what SATCOM is doing. There are people who are trying to do something similar, or people in the past who've done something that may appear similar, but they are not doing anything near the same thing that SATCOM is doing. Why? Because they don't understand. They don't know what I know. Go ahead and listen to this video again and see the remedy that you just received on how you should be operating and under what you should be operating. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have done your 98 number, you should be contacting the organization that runs the World Passport, and you should be getting yourself a World Passport. Now, I'm not suggesting that one gets a World Citizen Passport. No, not that at all. I'm saying that when I go to the post office, they get the World Passport. When they ask me for an ID at Walmart, they get the World Passport. I got the passport and the ID. Pull me over, you get that ID. Why? Because the Supreme Court says I only need to give you an ID. There's nothing in the law that says, pay attention, there's nothing in the law that says that I have to give you a state-issued ID. They can't force you to contract, so they can't force you to have their ID. You people need to understand that. Now, I have an inverter, so I have everything plugged in, meaning My cell phone's plugged in, my computers are plugged in, so that everything stays charged all the way to wherever I need to go, so I don't have to turn off nothing and then plug it back in, or have to worry about it, battery draining or anything. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop this right here so that I can let y'all go and I can get on inside and update this computer. But I just wanted to put this video together so that you all will have it. And I say thank y'all for joining us this afternoon. Have a good day, have a good night, have a good life, have a good time, have a good bye.